Hi, Chef Jamie here. Welcome to another segment of Easy Eats. And since last week, which I hope you enjoyed, I catered a date night at Leslie and John's house, and it was freaking awesome. So I went into their house and I taught them how to make fresh mozzarella. That was their appetizer on arugula with balsamic glaze, and that's what we're going to make today. I'll show you how easy that is. And then we made pho, which is spelled P-H-O-A, and then we had s'mores, Rice Krispie s'mores sushi, and it was so much fun because I taught them how to cut vegetables. We just had a real good time. And if you want to check it out on Facebook, it's Easy Eats on Facebook, and the pictures are posted. But today we're going to make fresh mozzarella, and I'll tell you how easy it is. We're going to start the timer because it is so easy to do and so quick. Everybody thinks, oh my gosh, mozzarella is so difficult. It is so quick, easy, and delicious. Let me give you a little history of mozzarella. So mozzarella, I don't think it was discovered. It was, well, I guess it was discovered back in the 16th century around the Naples area of Italy, and they used sheep milk or curd, and then they discovered that they could use buffalo curd or milk, and that took it to a whole nother level because it's more rich, it's softer, and it never really left that area for a long time because unpasteurized milk has a very short shelf life. So that's a little history on mozzarella. Mozzarella de bufala, as they say. And mozzarella, the matzah, it means to separate. So history on the mozzarella. Today we use milk curd, and it's very difficult. You can get buffalo curd, but it has to be shipped from Italy. So here we go. I have about 2 pounds of milk curd, cow milk curd, and what we do is we have a pot of water, or stock you could say. Now whatever you put in the stock is going to flavor essence to the mozzarella. So last night we dropped, you always want to salt the water, and it should be 170 degrees. Has to be 170 degrees, a simmer. A simmer is 165 to 185 in temperature. So that gives you a little idea. Do you have to temp it? If you really want to get anal about it, you can, but it doesn't matter because as long as it's simmering, you know you're good to go. So the mozzarella, we put basil, salt. Now you can put, depending on what you want to do, what flavor profile you are trying to achieve, you could put in ginger, you could put in peppercorns, but you don't want to put that in the mozzarella. You want to strain it or work around it. So last night was basil and salt, and it was just really good. And it's not like overpowering, it's just essence. So let's keep going here because the clock's ticking. Here I washed my hands. We have a cutting board with a towel in it, and you take the mozzarella, and all you do is the curd is break it up. You're just breaking it up. Okay? Now you can roll this out when you're done and lay prosciutto on it and make pinwheels of mozzarella and prosciutto. So the sky's the limit. It's very difficult to use anything with moisture in it, like a pepper. We tried it at Muhlenberg, and it was very difficult. We actually had to dehydrate the pepper, and it still was very, very difficult, and it didn't really work. But we've used fresh herbs. So let me keep going here. So you got it all broken up. Okay, we have the hot stock. I'm going to take this and I'm going to pour it on here. Okay, now I have a bowl of water because this tends to get very hot with your hands. So I'm going to dip my hands in cold water, and then I'm going to, whoa. So I'm going to use a spoon or a spatula, rubber spatula. Now what you're doing here is you're cooking it, and it starts to come together already. It's that easy to do. All I have in the stock is salt. So once you can get your hands in there, I'm going to again put my hands in cold water, and I'm going to work it just like a dough ball. You know, you're going to knead it around, and I'm going to have to strain the whey. So little Miss Muffet sat on her tuffet eating her curd and whey. And then, you know, the spider. So that's a little nursery rhyme info for you. So this is pretty good, but it's not done. So I'm going to pour this whey off. You don't have to worry about the mozzarella coming apart because it re-solidifies itself. So I'm going to put some more stock in here. Now this is probably be the last time because this is going to cook it up. Now if I were to roll this out, I would roll it out on cutting board and make pinwheels, but we're just making mozzarella balls, and this is extremely hot. Oh boy. So I'm going to work it as best as I can. This will probably be the last cook on this. So I'm going to see, now it starts to get real shiny and you can't feel the lumps in there anymore. So as you can see, the curd has cooked itself into fresh mozzarella. Does this melt? Sure, it melts with heat. You can make chicken parmesan. You can do put it on top of your ziti. I prefer fresh mozzarella, but if you have the time to do it, put it in the fridge. It'll get harder, and then you just shred it. So here we go. Here's your mozzarella. It's so freaking easy and so awesome. It's, you know, so that's it. So I'm going to put it in here, and then what I would do is I'm going to take and just break off, you know, I'm going to make sure I'll do the kneading one more time, and then I'm just going to break off some pieces and put them in. You just snip it and twist it. There's your mozzarella. Put it in some cool water, and you can put some salt in the brine. So we're going to put that in there, and then here, another mozzarella ball. Now you can make it into logs and then slice it really thin, and that's what we're going to do now. So I'm going to make this into a log, sort of, kinda, and I'm going to drop it into cool water. We're done with the whey. Whey goes away. Whey goes away. So while that's doing that, clean my cutting board. Now you could eat the mozzarella by itself, but I'm going to take a very nice ripe tomato, which I picked right next door at my neighbor's house. And then I found this, and it's a tomato, but it's got cracks in it. And I said, huh, I wonder why they crack. So of course I Googled it, and Google says there's too much moisture in the soil, and then it dries out. So it's the fluctuation of the moisture in the soil which cracks these. Little history on tomatoes there. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to slice it ever so thin with a sharp knife, of course, and we're going to build a little mozzarella and tomato plate with balsamic glaze and or orange, blood orange balsamic glaze. I prefer balsamic, but the blood orange is awesome. So here we go. Oh, let's stop. So what do we got here? 8 minutes and 25 seconds, and that's with me talking. How fast was that? How easy was that? It's incredible. So it's fun with the kids because it's like Play-Doh, and you will make a mess because the whey will get on your countertop and it'll turn into like a white dust. So it is a mess maker, but it's okay. So I have arugula, baby arugula, and I'm going to put this on a plate. Now the arugula is bitter, the balsamic is sweet, mozzarella is creamy neutral, and the tomatoes have a little acid. Now tomato is a fruit, believe it or not, and I think you all know that because that's like a trick question. So here's your log. I'm going to take it and I'm going to slice it so thin. Now if I were to put this in the fridge, it would get cold and harder. But for sake of this, we're going to just plate this up. Intermittent in between each one. Tomato mozzarella, tomato mozzarella, tomato mozzarella. Now is that easy or what? Now we're going to put the balsamic on there, and I have, now you can put olive oil on there and balsamic. I prefer both, but first I'm going to take some salt and pepper. I'm going to use my pinky here and my fingers, and I'm just going to drizzle some of this on there because it's nothing like kosher salt and pepper. Now if you have a pepper mill, you can use that. I mean, it's all coming together here. So the arugula is bitter, balsamic sweet, so you got a yin and your yang going on here. I'm going to take just a little olive oil for love. Always test it out somewhere else. I'm just going to drizzle it on here. Just a little EVOO. Put that away. I'm going to take this awesome balsamic glaze. I'm going to drizzle it on here real quick to make sure it's working. And then I'm just going to drizzle it back and forth ever so quickly. That way. And that way. I'm going to put a couple drops right here if it's cooperating. And then, as I showed John and Leslie, if you just take the tip of your knife and move it, it gives it a tail. So it gives it kind of a garnish. Now if I had fresh basil, which I don't, that would really make it, because then I would put some chiffonade fresh basil on there. So there we have it. Fresh mozzarella and tomato. Super easy, super delicious, and freaking awesome. So check out the video on YouTube. Check out the pics on Facebook, and we'll see you next week. I'll take a picture of this and post it. This is Chef Jamie saying goodbye, and simplicity, honesty, and awesome food. Thanks. See ya.